conversation about how wild the final season of Scandal is gonna get. Let's go! Here come Hot Topics with Whoopi, Sarah Haynes, Joy Behar, and Sunny Hostin. Now, let's get things started.
So, yesterday, Secretary of State Rex Tillerson spoke out after it was reported he allegedly called you-know-who in the White House a moron. Here's what he had to say when reporters asked him about calling him a moron.
I'm not going to deal with petty stuff like that. I mean, this is what I don't understand about Washington. Again, I'm not from this place. But the places I come from, we don't deal with that kind of petty nonsense. And it is intended to do nothing but divide people.
But what's really interesting is that he actually didn't deny that he called him a moron.
I respect the pivot.
It was a good pivot, wasn't it?
It sort of told you that he's not going to lie. He doesn't lie because he could have easily said, I didn't say that, and he didn't do it. So he's not really a liar.
And that's a good news. I mean, actually, Donald Trump tweeted, this was all fake news, and NBC should retract the story. And then Stephanie Rule from NBC actually got on air and said, what my source really said, he said, was that like they totally doubled down on it. I was like, whoa.
Well, I have to tell you, the person who could probably answer this question and many more questions about you-know-who is Joy. Oh. Isn't that right, Joy?
Well, yeah, because even though it's even though it is alleged that Tillerson called him a moron, I am confirming allegations that I actually called him a moron way before. In fact, here's Larry David doing a dramatic reading from my new book, The Great Gas Bag, an A to Z study guide to surviving Trump world, which is available for pre-order on Amazon.com. Watch Larry call him a moron.
M is for moron. There's an actual medical scale of stupidity, and moron is not at the bottom. The scale is based on standardized IQ testing. For example, an imbecile is smarter than an idiot, and a moron is smarter than an imbecile. So, Donald, when it comes to the stupid scale, be proud. You're a moron.
People that say you don't get a benefit of the doubt clearly have not read the book yet. Like that was
because it's not out yet.
Yeah.
But you can order it. You can order it also on Audible.
Yes. Yeah.
It's the gas bag. The gas bag.
See, Whoopi's doing that because when Barbara was pushing her book, we used to sing audition.
Yes.
And it went to the bestseller list, so we're,
so
we learned from the
same
best.
thing.
Right.
So, Tillerson apparently should stick around because according to Tennessee Senator Bob Corker, we need him, really need him right now. Take a look.
Secretary Tillerson, Secretary Mattis, and Chief of Staff Kelly are those people that help separate our country from chaos. They work very well together to make sure that the policies we put forth around the world are, sound and coherent. There are other people within the administration, in my belief, that don't.
So should it terrify folks that there are only 3 people keeping us off the precipice, according to him?
I think Tillerson has been going head-to-head with him for a while because they're both CEOs. Like, I don't think they're used to answering to anyone, whereas, like, the generals are used to rank and file. That's how you come up in the military. So you're used to taking orders, direction. But I think they're having a hard time because they were usually Thank you.
You're sure.
Their own bosses, and they weren't used
Yeah.
to ever having to be accountable to someone.
That's a good point. I mean, Tillerson has, I think, been very strong on North Korean diplomacy. He's like, you know, Donald Trump will tweet something out like, there's no space for diplomacy, and then Tillerson will make a statement and say, no, actually, you know, I'm Secretary of State, and there is room for diplomacy. So they have kept, I think, the chaos at bay.
But when he
will
said
they will they stay?
When he said the language, when he said the language divides, though, it made me giggle because part of this beef was Tillerson came out and said he wanted to do try diplomacy with North Korea.
Yeah.
And Trump came out and said, tell him to save his breath. Like, he's wasting his time. That to me is a little divided.
Yeah, like,
Well, meaning what? That his only military action?
Well, he was saying he had a different approach, but like
to the chief diplomat.
I
right,
just
of our
find it
country.
interesting because I don't remember, and maybe my history is not as good, an organization or administration that had so many people coming out saying just opposite things.
All
Not
the
even like
time.
a little different, like
Well,
just opposite.
It seems to me that things have gotten so bad. I mean, our audience knows it already, but now it's starting to filter down to people like Corker and all and they become blurters. They like blurt. It's like the administration's blurters and leakers. That's what they are.
Yeah.
You know, JFK had the best and the brightest. They have the blurters and the leakers.
Yeah.
And people are so frustrated. They're just saying, "You're a moron," you know, or he's chaos. They're just yelling
I
stuff.
think, you know, when you're putting people's lives in danger, you know, it's one thing when you've decimated the diplomatic lines. There are very few diplomats out there sort of representing us. But, you know, when you have us on the precipice of war, someone has to come out and say, you know what? No, that's not what we're doing. This is how we're handling this. And you know, look, I always say, listen, you want to wage a war with somebody, find the guy who's pissing you off. You know? Find the one who's... I want him and Kim Jong. I want the two of them. Do you remember Deathmatch?
Yeah, like a Mortal Kombat.
Remember the Clay guys? That's where I want to see them
Just
fight.
fight with each other.
Yeah, just fight.
Right.
You all go
Leave
fight.
us all out of it.
Because I don't think I think we have a different way to approach North Korea. And I think that one of the things that people have been saying that I think has been inaccurate is that nothing has happened, that we haven't done it. But the bottom line is when, before I think he took his dad out, they had a very...
Kim Jong-un?
Yeah, I think they had a very specific thing. We dealt with the North Koreans very specifically. It's like, look, we will pay you and you can feed your people because you're just making ammunition and munitions.
I think President Obama called it strategic patience. Like they had a certain Republicans and Democratic presidents all had the same approach.
Well, yeah, we'll pay you, and you'll feed your people because we know your people are hungry. You're not going to sell your arms to other places because that would be not good for anybody. So we're going to give you the money you need and leave your neighbor alone, because if you mess with them, that's not going to bode well for anybody.
The problem with this guy, though, Kim Jong-un, as you say, they're hungry. He's never hungry. You can see that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not even a joke. But he's not hungry, and it's all about his narcissism also.
Well, now
you have Trump with his and this guy with his.
Because we've not had anyone who understood that, you know, when you have two narcissists, that's what they do. They fight each other. So I'm saying, listen, y'all take that over there and let the grown-ups actually run how this should be going.
Take it outside. Speaking about the grown-ups, I think, you know, it seems that General Kelly, who's now the chief of staff, has really reined everyone in. It seems to be, you know, lock and file now. But will he stay? Because he's even had...
He better stay.
I don't know that he will stay and that Tillerson will stay.
Well, he and Mattis need to stay. Like, we need them there.
Imagine if they leave, there's nobody.
Well,
there's Ivanka.
There's Ivanka. And Jared.
And Melania. I'm scared.
You say I'm scared?
I'm scared. Yeah.
We'll be back.
Later, playing with guns. Would the co-hosts let their kids go on a play date if the family had firearms in the house?
Conference.
Okay, people, we can confirm it. Starting this Monday, a new host, a new view is hitting the table. A strong, smart woman, not afraid to speak her mind. So let's light things up this Monday as she takes this chair and joins The View on ABC. Kerry Washington has a sneak peek at the final season of Scandal.
Pennsylvania Congressman Tim Murphy has been vocally anti-abortion and just helped get the 20-week abortion ban bill through the House. And he just announced he's not seeking re-election after texts showed that he asked his mistress to get an abortion.
Shocking, shocking.
How does he justify this double standard?
It was so despicable when the story broke. I mean, first of all, he's asking his mistress, which he shouldn't have, right? And to have an abortion. And I think what I've often said here is I don't understand why these people have, you know, the moral authority. They think they have their handle on the moral authority in this country, and then you see things like this happen over and over again. So people really need to step out and say, you're not the moral authority. And
well, you know,
you're just not.
You know, there's something, when I saw this today, I thought about how I have voted for Bill Clinton, who obviously had a little something under the desk. I also voted for John Kennedy in my youth, who had millions of mistresses, or whatever they called them in those days. Teddy Kennedy, who had Chappaquiddick. So I understand that people would think I was a hypocrite because I voted for them. But I voted for them for the same reason that the right votes for these hypocrites. And the reason is because they vote and they do legislation that you like. Okay? But the difference between me and the people who vote for this guy is the Democrats are not the family of values. They don't go around taking abortion rights away from people or talking about gay rights being rescinded. They're not hypocrites. They're just dogs. You see the difference?
Yeah.
Well,
there is a difference.
From the obvious hypocrisy of this, you know, that's the blaring story. But then it brings up another thing which we've talked about here a lot on the show. When something hits someone personally, it stops being just paper and laws and rules. Now it's your family. Like everything from people that often were against gay rights and then their son's gay and then they evolve.
Yeah.
Like oftentimes when something hits close to home.
Well, that's Nancy Reagan.
But if you take the idea of your religious rights over somebody else's religious rights out of the conversation, then it becomes, well, you're a dog. That's what it becomes.
Yeah.
Right.
You're not telling me that I can't do what's right for my family when I think it's right.
Right.
You know, it's a different, it's a very different thing. And so, you know, I appreciate all the folks who will never have an abortion. I appreciate them, and I'm thrilled for them. But you can't make that decision for me and my family. You can't. You can't. You know.
And that's a discussion you all have taught me a lot because you know, as a Catholic, I grew up as a pro-lifer. You know, that was something that my family always talked about. Abortion is wrong across the board. And then I had a conversation with Tim Kaine, Hillary Clinton's running mate, and it was really interesting because he's Catholic as well. And he said, listen, I am anti-abortion, but I would never tell someone else, according to my faith, what to do.
Especially
and I've moved into that camp.
You know?
I explained to Faith the other day, we were having this conversation, and I said, you are in fact pro-choice.
And I said, I'm
even though you're against abortion, because you may not do it for yourself, but
I wouldn't advise a friend or a family.
But you understand that that makes you pro-choice.
But you also understand that it's...
Yes, it does.
Okay. You know what? Here's why you're pro-choice, Sonny. Because you're not... Stop. Listen. You're pro-choice because you're not telling me I can't.
That's it.
That's what makes you pro-choice. You would never have an abortion. You would never encourage anyone, but you would never say to somebody, I'm telling you, because my religion says it's bad, you can't.
I might advise someone against it.
Can we also,
but you're not,
honest,
but you're not going to say to somebody, you must, because I say this is what it is.
I wouldn't say that, but...
One other important note on this story is that this is a man asking a woman to get. It's a double choice problem. It's not legislating for people to view to an ultimate right. Ultimately, this truly comes down to a woman, because regardless of if you're a part of the equation, which takes two to tango, the onus is on the woman for all of this, and this is her body. So the idea that he even felt it free to say, you should get an abortion, not just in legislation, but between us as a couple, that's a bold statement.
And it turns out, but I have to tell you the outcome of all of this. It turns out that she's not pregnant.
That she wasn't even pregnant.
She thought she might be.
She thought she was.
He also goes so far as to say in the text messages when she says, how dare you, having signed this legislation, I looked at your website and you're talking about, you know, all this anti-abortion stuff, and then you're asking me to have an abortion. He said, but I didn't write the website stuff.
But they had sex. Why is she reading about him on a website? Did they not talk?
But he even denied writing anything about it. Like, he distanced himself, right? And
he's a dog and he doesn't communicate.
It's the height of
not much of a talker, I guess.
He also left Paul Ryan's office and then retired right after he left the office.
We'll be right back.
They put the lid right on him.
I pinky promise.
We partnered with vendors for half-off products with proceeds that'll benefit life-saving breast cancer research. So get to viewyourdeal.com to shop, save, and support now.
So, what is this on the table, Sonny?
Okay, well, remember last week when Craig Robinson was on and he talked about how he was a vegan and how he was looking for a vegan birthday cake? I just said vegan birthday cakes probably don't taste good. I mean, has anybody had a kale cake that's delicious? No. So I guess Jon Stewart and his wife heard about this and sent us a bunch of vegan cakes that apparently are tasty.
Delish.
I mean, they looked beautiful this morning.
This is really good. We can't stop eating it.
Once you go vegan, you never go back.
All right, let me see. Let me see if I stand corrected, Jon Stewart.
It's really good.
I was wrong.
And just out of curiosity, because I wasn't here, why do you think what brought in a kale birthday cake? I don't understand.
I started thinking vegan kale. How tasty is a kale cookie going to be?
Vegans are vegetables.
So you actually haven't ever had any of these tasty things? Because there's places all over New York that have great stuff.
I was talking without any factual basis.
This is good. All right.
But let me say this.
Yeah.
It was the Vegan Treat founder, Danielle Kanya. This is where the cake comes from. And it's a vegan bakery in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania called Vegan
Vegans are vegetables.
So you actually haven't ever had any of these tasty things? Because there's places all over New York that have great stuff.
I was talking without any factual basis.
This is good. All right.
But let me say this.
Yeah.
It was the Vegan Treat founder, Danielle Kanya. This is where the cake comes from. And it's a vegan bakery in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania called Vegan.
Humor there. Is this an issue? I didn't know any of this was an issue.
But you know, the bride is given away by the father, which is like, I'm taking this possession and I'm giving this possession to another man, is basically what you're doing, even though I don't want to take it that seriously. It's kind of a ritual that's hung around for a while.
It's a tradition.
But when I got married the first time, I had a Catholic ceremony, the church, and then I had a Jewish ceremony because I married a Jewish guy, which apparently I keep doing. So anyway, I have a picture of when I walked down the aisle with my mother on one side and my father on the other.
Oh, wow.
See that?
Oh, you look like your mom.
I do. Thank you. She was very pretty.
Yeah.
Notice I'm wearing white, not like these two sluts flanking me.
Was that your first wedding or your second one?
My
I have a
first.
feeling that white was also not accurate.
It was accurate. It was.
Okay.
Catholic girl.
I was a very good Catholic girl. I was only just turned 22. I was a very, very good little virgin.
Mine was not symbolic of anything.
But to me, that's the Jews have it down. It's like the mother and the father walk you down. I think that's good.
I just got married less than 3 years ago, and I said, you know, I said, let's question every tradition and why it is. So my brother was my maid of honor.
Yeah.
Wow. Man of honor. My parents both walked me down because I
Where's
thought
the picture? I want to see it.
my brother's so cute. I should have taken it. But I also was someone that bucked the trend of everyone looking some way for pictures. I said, it's on a beach, just look like a sunset and show up. Like, I didn't want them buying dresses. I didn't want them spending money. I said to my parents, my mom has probably had more influence on me than my dad. So, Dad, you can come down with us. But, like, Mom and I got the aisle thing down.
Yeah. No pictures.
No, I have tons of pictures.
See, I went the
brought that.
traditional route. I like the feeling of tradition, and I had my father walk me down the aisle.
Your
and
dad's so cute.
Sarah is still jonesing after my dad. She loves him. A lot of hugs when he
He's
comes.
not that much older than you.
No, he's
Did you wear white on your wedding? I
Which
forgot.
one?
Well, the first one. Let's start the first one.
I might have. I actually don't remember.
I want a picture of that.
I don't, because I don't remember it being formal. Do you know what I mean? I don't remember it being a big formal thing, but it might have been. I don't know if anybody, I don't think I've ever let anybody walk me down.
No.
I give myself to you. I don't need,
I like that.
yeah, I don't need, you know.
Although
I don't belong to anybody to give away. Do you know what I mean? So I think I think in the two or three times that I did it, I don't think I was really thinking about it.
the other thing, though, it says also the couple can see each other before the ceremony. I love when you don't see each other.
We'll be
because
right
then
back.
And now I help people find it.
Welcome back. A lot of people think a serious matter should be debated face to face, but a blogger on Refinery 29 makes the case why it's better to argue in text. She claims that when you're typing your stance on something, it makes you think about it more. What do you think?
I think it's easier to be strict and
Firm.
and brutally honest when you're writing it rather than face to face. Yeah, I think so. Don't you?
Yeah, because when I fight, I'm more eloquent by text. Like when I fight, I reduce myself to crass and vulgar words that are not productive, nor do they move the conversation forward.
So if you're speaking.
Yeah,
Speaking,
because
yeah.
usually if I'm fighting with my husband, and I don't think it's productive talk. So one time someone suggested, he said, I don't want this to set you off, but someone suggested that maybe we should digitally speak when you're upset.
But see,
it actually does slow you down.
But the problem with that is that you have a record of what you said.
Yeah.
And that person can call it up, just like I call up Manny's little nasty text that he sends me all the time.
But I'm the Manny.
Right?
I'm the Manny.
I don't like to have a record.
And my husband's the lawyer, so.
Yeah, I don't like to have a record because then you put it down and they can just bring it back
It's a good way for cowards like me. For instance, let's say you have to fire somebody if you have a business, which I don't, but let's say I did.
You did that by text?
You could say, you know, Star Jones taught me this. What you say is, my needs have changed. Isn't that brilliant?
My needs have changed.
Star told me that. So you write, my needs have changed. I don't need your services anymore. You've been wonderful. You know, you write things like that.
A date or is it?
No, it's someone who works for you.
It works on both. I'm an online date. I was an online dater.
What services?
My
makes you
needs have
think of it?
changed. They do sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't like the record. I don't like the record.
You're a lawyer.
I think it's better that you say it face to face and you say something crazy and then they say that you said it and you go, I don't remember saying that.
See, the thing is that
I wouldn't say something like that.
if this is a problem, because Tillerson, if he had written "You're a moron," we would have a
we would have a
of it.
record.
So now he can do a non-denial denial,
you go,
as they call
moron.
it. You know?
I don't think
Think of
like
it.
that.
Moron, I said.
Well, this is, we'll keep talking about this. There's a, what the?
I have something.
Okay.
It's my turn. Okay.
Actually, okay.
Cafe Press has tons of unique and customizable merchandise, from tees and totes to mugs and pillows. And if they don't have exactly what you're looking for, you can create it yourself. So thanks to Cafe Press, viewers at home will get 30% off your total order with promo code, quote, talk show. And members of our audience are going home with a $100 gift card.
Next, Kerry Washington has a preview of the insane final season of Scandal. Tomorrow on The View, we're fired up for Tell 'em Joy Friday. Yes. Oh, yeah. And the weekend starts early when Taraji hits the table.
I love all that.
Yeah. TGIF. Tomorrow on The View.
I love to eat. I love hanging out with my friends.
One of the wildest series on TV, Scandal, is about to kick off its final season with Olivia Pope more powerful than ever. But her dad's warning her it's a long way down when you're on top. Take a look.
There is a reckoning coming for you, Olivia. You think you have it under control. You think you have all the power buttoned up inside you, behind your eyes, lighting you up. But one day you'll glance into a mirror and you will discover that some of that power is missing. The lights are going out. Then you'll have some difficult decisions to make. Do I want that power back? Who am I willing to hurt to get it? Now, I can say this because I know you cannot have it all. Olivia.
Watch me.
Please welcome the lovely and talented Kerry Washington. Did you design this yourself?
No.
It's very cute. It's very
Those
pretty.
boots were made for something.
Yeah.
She's adorable.
I love a good shoe. I'm a shoe girl. I'm a shoe girl. I am. Like somebody else saying that.
I don't know what you mean.
You know, Kerry, we love when you're here because you are not afraid to talk about hot topics. Some actors are. They don't want to get into it, but not Kerry.
Yeah.
And, we've been talking this whole week about the tragic situation
We've
that
been
occurred
talking for almost a year now about this tragic situation.
Yes, yeah, I know. I was referring specifically not to the presidency, but to the gun issue, the gun control thing. So a lot of people are saying, Republicans are saying mostly it's not the time to talk about it. What do you think about that?
I think it's hard because to be honest, like I was very emotionally impacted by Las Vegas, and unfortunately, there's not going to be a good time to talk about it because the situation with guns in this country is that every single day we are losing someone to gun violence.
Right.
And so the only time to talk about it is as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Now, and also, I know there are a lot of people who say we shouldn't politicize death. For me, God forbid if anything happened to me, I'm telling all you ladies, I want you to politicize it forever. Go ahead and politicize it.
Say that.
It's horrible. It's a horrible thing to say. It's a horrible. No.
But we know that activism is important, and I know your folks were active in keeping you abreast of what was going on.
Yeah.
Are you surprised by what you're seeing?
I feel really grateful that my parents are people who participate in democracy. And when I turned 18, it was like a big rite of passage. My first opportunity to vote, they took me out to dinner and we talked about candidates. And it was really like helping me understand that people gave their lives so that I could vote as a person of color, as a woman, even as an 18-year-old. It used to be in this country that you would go fight a war at 18, but you had to be 21 to vote. And young people fought for the right for 18-year-olds to be able to vote. And so we can't take the vote lightly. We have to protect our vote. We have to show up to vote. We have to participate. Our country needs us.
Yeah. I like the celebration surrounding it's a big event to remind young people that this is a privilege.
Honestly, because for me, the tragedy that happened a year ago really is that half the country didn't vote. Yeah, that's the real tragedy.
Kerry, I quote you on here a lot because I think that a lot of times online you hear the viral quotes of celebrities shouldn't be talking about politics. Right. They should just kind of sit down. And you said it best. You said, and I'm not getting this verbatim, but you said, I'm an American first.
Yeah.
And the idea of getting out and being politically active when only 50% or less than 50% do, I think that's something to be commended, not to be...
We all have to show up. We all have to show up. It's what democracy means. Yeah.
But you and I both turned 40 this year.
Woo!
Yes.
This is what 40
Getting good. Now, I know a lot of people are depressed, you know, with the jokes about being 40, but you said you feel like in some ways that this is just the beginning for you.
Yeah, I don't know. I just, I feel like, you know, my life is very full, and I really feel very blessed to have a job that I love. I love my job on Scandal. I love being an actor. I love the people that I work with. I have a beautiful family. I'm very blessed, and it took every day of those 40 years to get where I am today, so I don't want to take any of it away.
That's right.
You know?
That's right.
Yeah. And I hear it gets better. I just hear it gets better and better and better.
It does. It does. I'll be 49 this year, and it gets better and better and better. You just received an honor. What?
Joy just went...
Joy does get better. It does not get better.
No number.
No, it gets better until it reaches a tipping point, and then it gets worse. Then it goes backwards.
I love it. I can always count on you for the honesty, Joy.
Bring in the joyful.
That's true.
So, you just received an honor at the 6th Annual Women Making History Awards.
Yeah.
And your friend...
Yes.
Yeah. So your friend and your Scandal co-star, Bellamy Young, gave
My
you...
president.
Yes.
Melly Grant.
I know.
Yes.
And she gave you an introduction that was very touching.
It was so bad because I didn't have waterproof mascara on that day, and I was like, girl, you need to stop with this speech right now. Yeah, it was really intense.
Why was it so intense for you?
She was really talking about sisterhood, you know? She was really talking about the importance of women supporting other women, which is something you guys get. It's sort of the lifeline of the show. And in Shondaland, at Scandal, and on all the shows, there's really Shondaland. Yep. There's really a genuine support of each other, and that means a lot to me. That friendship, how we uplift each other and hold each other up, it's changed my life to work in an environment like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you're spoiled now.
I am. Yeah. The only place I'll have to work is here. I'm going to come here after Scandal.
Oh my God. Rolling on that, right? Now, speaking... Are you going to do the little lip gloss?
Everybody's censoring themselves today.
You know, it's what's really also wonderful is that, you know, women are never given the credit of actually having opinions. In that they say, oh, you know, it's a cat fight. It's always some kind. It's never, you know, they disagreed. It's always like, and it's... You will now take that to the next gig you do.
Yeah, that's right.
You will not allow that to be.
No, you have to hold space for everybody to shine, for everybody to be fully themselves. That we have room on our show. It's extraordinary talent in our cast. And for me, as the lead on the show, I have never wanted to get in the way of anybody else shining. And that's important, because I've never wanted to be a great thing about a bad show. You want to be part of a group of excellence.
There's nothing worse than a camera bar.
No, and our cast is amazing. We have an amazing cast and crew. Amazing.
Well, the 7th and final season.
Final season! It's crazy. Don't worry, because we are going out with a bang. Like, we are having a good time. It's our last season. We're not leaving anything on the table. We're going to bring it. We're bringing it hard. We're bringing it fierce. It's a big deal. Coming for you.
I saw the premiere last night, and let me tell you, the premiere is off the chain. It was crazy.
Yeah, we're not playing around.
But when the first show started, the political storyline seemed a little crazy, but now not as much.
Yeah.
Do you think the state of our country will have an impact on the storylines for this last season?
Well, we are not a ripped from the headlines show. That's not really how we do things. But it does. I mean, it is very meaningful that in Scandal, in the world of Scandal, we have the first female president of the United States. And I feel like that that's an escape, a world that a lot of people want to escape to, and it's a privilege. It's a world that we're privileged to live in on our show.
Too bad we couldn't live in reality.
Well, but think of it this way.
Yeah.
All those black presidents we had on TV, and suddenly people say, well, hey.
That's right.
Yeah. Not
So
shocking optically.
Everything is possible. Everything is possible.
Right, so just keep it going.
We'll
Be
try.
as fabulous as you always
Thank
are.
you for being, for 7 years, thank you for being supportive of our show, honestly. You guys have always been so supportive. And thank you guys so much.
I'd like to say give our thanks to Kerry Washington. Scandal premieres tonight at 9 p.m. right here on ABC, and we'll be right back.
Tomorrow, get ready for some birthday joy with a blowout bash for Behar. Triumph the Insult Comic Dog is marking his territory. Empire's Taraji P. Henson is joining the party. Plus,
wait, drum roll.
We're surprising Joy with a performance from one of her favorite music superstars. And she is sharing a surprise of her own.
What, are you supposed to do something?
No, she wants to say something.
Oh, well, you know,
Quick, baby.
President Trump said that everything's great in Puerto Rico. Well, my family's drinking from rainwater.
Okay.
So everything is not great in Puerto Rico.
All right. So, but you know what? You're great. You're great. Thanks for watching. Thanks for letting us do our thing. See ya tomorrow.
On New Year's Eve, 2 men broke into my home.